Hello and good afternoon. Thank you for watching UBC TV this Easter Sunday, the 17th day of April 2022. With me, Wadulo Mark Arnold. This is the weekly roundup bulletin, the bulletin that brings you those stories that made news within the week, those headline stories in particular. Now, the start of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni this weekend received a message of condolence from the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson upon the death of the Speaker Jacob Oulanyah. The Right Honourable Oulanyah died in USA on March 20th and was buried last Friday at Laloji in Omoro District. Premier Johnson's message was delivered by Lord Dola Popat, who called on the President at State House, Nakasero, this afternoon. President Museveni and Lord Popat discussed issues of mutual interest between Uganda and the United Kingdom in various sectors including health, investment, energy, transport and agriculture.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has said that Uganda and the UK should be cooperating more and doing more business because of their social and cultural links. He added that both countries share many aspirations than no other. Responding to their frustration over Civil Aviation Authority and Uganda Airlines' failure to start direct flights to the UK, President Museveni promises to push the two entities and have the paperwork done soon so that Uganda can start direct flights to UK.
I personally would be happy to give them a loan for their travel cost, visa cost, to come and work in UK.
You will be flooded.
That's fine, we need them because Ugandans are one English speaking, their custom and culture is very similar to the English, and rather than giving you aid, this is the best way to develop your people.
Absolutely. So that they would have concluded the forms.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to them also to say, please, you work with some volunteers to teach you how to fill forms.
So, sir, they have said June. They said they need till June. So again, the piece for me is...
June for what?
June to complete the forms.
Who?
The Civil Aviation Authority.
Our people here?
Uh-huh.
That's not good enough. How can somebody who wants to come in the house be the one to delay?
Correct. Very frustrating.
No.
And they've had the planes for 18 months on the tarmac.
Yes. Yes. You know, the problem we got, Lord Popat, was that during Yamin's time, the civil service broke down.
Correct.
So when we came back, we found that ramp of the civil service.
Yeah, I understand.
But unlike the army, we didn't interfere with it. We left it. But I think during Yamin's time, they are educated. They are all graduates, masters.
The president said Uganda is focusing on improving the standards and processing of agricultural products that are acceptable to the international market. The president encouraged his guests to attract more investors from UK to come and invest in Uganda because Uganda is rich in minerals. Lord Popat is the Conservative peer at the House of Lords and has been the UK trade envoy for Uganda and Rwanda since 2016. Lord Popat revealed that they have a grand plan of taking Ugandan qualified nurses to work in the UK. He added that they chose Uganda because they are English speakers and they have so much in common. He said the negotiations are already underway with the Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary, Dr. Diana Atwine. He asked the Ugandan government to work on the issue of starting direct flights to UK by Uganda Airlines to promote tourism and investments. He wondered why Uganda is so rich underground but so poor on the surface. On her part, His Excellency Count Array emphasized the need to have direct flights to the UK to promote tourism and links with the UK. The meeting was attended by the Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Honorable Mwebesa Francis, and Ambassador Beatrice Pachunega, among others.
Quite candid talks we'd never get to usually see. Christians across the world are celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ at various worshipping areas. At Bibina Parish in Kampala, Archdiocese Reverend Father Emmanuel Chimbowa led the Easter Mass with a call on traders not to hike essential goods prices. These are the details.
It is your mission to go proclaiming to others, not on the streets, but through your words, through your actions, through your way of life. What do you want that changes in your life? Which kind of grave that you want to resurrect from? We are celebrating that we are no longer so much in COVID times, but prices have shot high. The skyrocketing prices are affecting everybody. I appeal to the government. You are preparing new taxes, but mind about the lowest person. And at this price and at these taxes going to cause more misery, more sorrow. The ones we are having now are really affecting us and biting so hard. What about the ones who are preparing? For those in business, fine, you want to have and maximize profits at any cost, but mind about your fellow citizens, your fellow brothers and sisters. There are some who intentionally hike the prices, yet they are also in the same situation like others. Let us have our businesses, let us conduct them well, but minding about others. When we do this, by selling at a price that will not so much hurt others, by not putting conditions that yes, fine, the war is there, it has affected everybody. But there are some obvious things, some mistakes, some people who hike prices because of their own benefits. How I wish Christ touches your heart. How I wish you can resurrect, do the needful, so that all of us can enjoy Uganda, the part of Africa.
Local leaders in Kakumiro district this week challenged to embrace the recently launched parish development model. Rather, they were challenged to embrace the recently launched parish development model. Prime Minister Robina Nabanja, who describes the program as a game changer, calls for mindset change to ensure success of the new development program. Nabanja, who is also the woman MP of Parliament for Kakumiro district, echoed this while orienting leaders into this new government development program. These are the details.
The compound was full and the participants were all attentive. They were here to be inspired and get oriented in the country's new development program, the parish development model.
Complaining person, a lamenting person is negative. He will limit your advancement. Bwarawa mukyala waawe mwikalizo mwegezi.
Nchimanya abasinga bapa ugenda parish chief ha million 10 bawulidde million 10 kale tujja kulaba kuluno kyanjawulo.
Mindset change was part of the emphasis as local leaders of Kakumiro converged at Prime Minister Robina Nabanja's residence. The Minister for Local Government, Raphael Majezi, was one of the facilitators. He emphasized the need to transit from subsistence to commercial farming.
Whether you are in trade, whether you are in agriculture, all that you produce is for your survival. You do not produce enough to feed your home and take the surplus to the market to get some money.
The parish development model is seen as a game changer in ensuring that 39% of Ugandans outside the money economy also join the cash economy. This was emphasized by Prime Minister Robina Nabanja.
The parish model is a game changer. Now, as we talk, to put money in our people's pockets and to fight poverty. But balize ubona. Oli bwagamba game changer amanyisa aki nti balizege nyinkyakala hano. Ngwati Dero abantu baitwa baikaire batakora sente. Esaba yokora sente ni yenu.
Nabanja's explanation was clear enough for leaders to understand who was eligible for the PDM funding.
Esente zinu teziri zawe imwe abali anu. Kurora nywe na muli bagayiga. Inywe esente zinu temulimu. Esente zinu z'abantu bemulekera mu byala abanaku. We are targeting the poor.
Local leaders, ranging from RDC to others, affirmatively share this point of view.
We want to focus at people, those subsistence farmers who are still working for Echida Chionka.
We are almost going to start, and the money is on the account of the district, let all women in the sub-county be able to use that money.
What must be noted, it is a revolving fund. You use it on an interest of 5%. Say, for example, if you have been given 1 million, you take back, the profit is 50,000 within a year.
The parish development model has 7 pillars aimed at increasing agricultural production, productivity, value addition and financial inclusion, among others. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The State Minister for Information, Communications and National Guidance, Joyce Nabosa Sebugwawo, has asked local leaders to popularize government programs to realize development. Sebugwawo was commissioning a fish farming initiative in Luamalenge village, Bukomansimbi district, formerly known as Masaka.
The State Minister for Information, Communication and Technology, Joyce Nabosa Sebugwawo, has urged leaders to sensitize communities about government programs, mainly the parish development model and the Myoga for socio-economic change.
This is the right time now to inform all the public that we have so many good programs before, and we are still preparing some other program like this parish development model, which is going to assist all the poor, the common people to get wealth. Therefore, I'm appealing to all leaders, wherever you are, please sensitize your people. Tell them.
Minister wants farmers to make good use of extension workers for good yields and caution extension workers over extortion.
They are not doing their work. They are after money. Wherever they go, they demand money. And yet they are supposed to serve the public free of charge. Because that's why they are there. That's why they get the salaries.
The commissioned fish farm is to act as a model center for Tulibumo Fish Farmers Association, and the farm was established by the NRM district chairperson Mwanje Shafik. Farmers highlighted agricultural inadequacies that warrant government intervention for profitable investments. Government, through Operation Wealth Creation and other related development programs, provided farmers with fingerings for commercial farming. Abdul Nasser Lubama, UBC News.
In other news, the Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi, this week turned 67 on the 13th of April 2022. However, due to circumstances beyond his control, he could not hold public celebrations until he returns from abroad, where he went on official duties and medical checkups. In his congratulatory message held at Bulange Mengo, the Katikiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga, highlighted some achievements registered in these years. Let's take a look.
Kabaka Mutebi returned from exile when he was 31 and he was crowned when he was 38. By the time he has turned 67, a lot of changes have taken place in the kingdom.
On the 13th of April 1955, Prince Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II, now Kabaka of Buganda, was born at Mulago Hospital in Kampala. For the first time, celebrations have not been organized because the main celebrant, the Kabaka, is still abroad. The Katikiro of Buganda has delivered the official message of the kingdom wishing Kabaka a merry birthday.
Kabaka is still in Europe. When he returns, we shall announce the arrangements for the official celebration of his birthday. And we pray that he continues to protect him as he reigns over the kingdom of Buganda.
He says a lot has been achieved since the Kabaka was enthroned.
The 67 years of Kabaka's life have brought us joy. And we are proud of the many milestones that have been witnessed in those years. We give thanks to God for the protection that he has accorded our king and for the many victories that have been registered in those years.
In another development, the Church of Uganda, through the Archbishop Kazimba Mugalu, has congratulated the Kabaka, having made it 67 this year.
Nsaba Katonda mutwero mukisa okutaliko bwenike atera kume ne mama n'abagereka akume n'Obuganda munyera kitaffe n'omwana n'omwoyo mutukuvu.
The 67 Kabaka's birthday and preceding celebrations will be celebrated after Kabaka's return from abroad. Story compiled by Andrew Sebira for UBC News.
In other news, the UPDF military police passed out 256 new officers after a 4-month training in Masindi. The Major General Sam Okidingi officiated the pass out and appealed to the trainees to always adhere to the military code of conduct for an efficient and effective army.
The head of training in the Uganda People's Defence Forces, Major General Sam Okidingi, has appealed to trainees to follow the laws of the army. He was passing out 256 military police officers passed out in Masindi, whom he asked to be firm and remain focused if they are to climb the ladders in the forces.
Saying, no, Afan Okidingi is joking. For him enjoying his life when he was youth. Now he's coming to deceive us. My friend, I enjoyed that life when I used to pray. I could even go to the toilet and pray and say, God, have sinned, forgive me. Very seriously. Yes. Then I go again and start drinking. That was the problem. You go and finish the beers, but when you know that this is bad, you go back somewhere. So I'm giving you these scriptures so that you don't go astray. Be firm, remain focused. There is a lot ahead of you.
The Commandant Officer Military Police, Major General Don Nabasa, appealed to the graduates to keep the core values of the UPDF, like being disciplined, patriotic, and keep the integrity, and to love their job.
Because we can only achieve the above mentioned tasks if we are healthy. Short of that, we can't do anything.
The head of Military Police Training School, Masindi Artillery Division, Colonel Amon Kajina, appealed sufficient training aids, a security fence around the military training school, a truck and administrative vehicles, and good structures for trainees.
My immediate boss, with the Commandant Military Police, would have wanted to give me more number than the one that we've trained. Was talking of 700 soldiers. But I can't handle because of the facilities, infrastructure that I have in the training school, sir. There is lack of barracks maintenance. If these ones could be tackled, sir, this school, I can assure you that we are able even to go for another course which is above the military police course, because we are capable, we have a capable training team that can do that, sir.
The woman MP Masindi, Dr. Florence, said that the civilian population takes the soldiers in high esteem and appealed to them to continue protecting and keeping the secrets of the state.
I trust you so much that you cannot even reveal any secrets of government because you know you have gone through a lot. The rest but you, we trust you.
256 military police officers were passed out at Masindi Artillery Division Barracks after 4 months training in various aspects ranging from checkpoint, checking very important persons, protection, patriotism, and martial arts, among others.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni directed the Kampala RCC Amina Lukanga to speed up the process of evicting encroachers from Lubigi wetland in Kampala. The Office of the RCC Territorial Police Commanders and NEMA have now embarked on the process of cleaning Lubigi wetland of any occupation.
These permanent houses have continued to be erected in the Luigi wetland, raising concerns on why government could be paying a blind eye to the encroachers. However, although on several occasions local authorities have intervened, the eviction process has hit a dead end. Now President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has instructed the Kampala RCC Amina Naziri Lukanga to intervene.
President kenyini yajatulagidde oluvannyuma lw'okulaba nti ndowooza tubadde siro.
Tuyitiddwa mu lukiiko luno RDC nga tutegeeza nti waliyo obweraliikirivu ne President bw'aba ayita ku Northern Bypass awo yeeraliikirira olw'abantu abo abakoze eki abasenze awo.
So we really want to engage you one-on-one as a group, and we agree because we need to conserve our environment.
Although government is this time committed to evict the encroachers, there is a court order restricting such arrangements.
NEMA has not given anybody permission to stay in that swamp. That's why we give a notice. That's why we gave a restoration order, such that if anybody has information which can protect him to stay in the swamp, he brings it out. And we have received 0. That means that's the Wolokoso. Whoever is there should get out of the swamp. We just need evidence to show us that NEMA sold you a swamp, because we just regulate use in the swamp. We regulate use of any activity in a wetland. We cannot sell a swamp.
We are going to do engagements first, and we establish what exactly is on ground. As we understood that there is a court order that came in December, but we had not gotten a copy of it. So we are going to verify where there is the area of contention and the place that has no contention. So and the area that has no contention we will remove, and the one that has issues we shall also do due diligence and see how best we can handle.
The encroachers have now been given a grace period of 1 week to vacate the wetland willingly or be forced out.
So whether you have a minor land title, whether you're on Buganda Land Board title and it's in the swamp, you have to utilize the swamp in accordance with the law.
Take time, prepare yourselves, and vacate peacefully. Do not force NEMA, do not force KCCA, do not force us to come and vacate you forcefully, because you're going to lose out your things.
Among the encroachers on this land is the Presidential Advisor on Ghetto Affairs, Makabugembe alias Buchaman. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
We'll now take a short commercial break and be back with more Roundup News. Please stay tuned.
Pay for your dream phone, Mpola. Get your dream phone today for as low as 1,400 Uganda shillings with free data for a year and pay slowly. All phones come with daily 50 MBs for 12 months. Repayment period is 1 year. Available at MTN service centers and M-Kopa shops.
With the book packages, great entertainment, sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Go TV, this is where great stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Uganda shillings per month. GoTV, great stories, Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda, love it.
Aisa abasajja ntwala omukisa guno n'obuwombeefu bw'ekika ekyawaggulu okwagaliza amazaalibwa ag'enkaaga mu 7 amalungi.
Awamu ne bakozi bannange mu Airtel Uganda tukwagaliza amazaalibwa amalungi ag'essanyu.
Twebaza Katonda akusobozesezza okutuuka ku myaka gino era tumusaba akukuume.
On behalf of the Board of Directors, Management and Staff, I would like to wish His Majesty Kabaka Ronald Muvenda Mutebi II a long life and a happy 67th birthday. Havangale I Sabasaja Kabaka.
Airtel, the smartphone network. We bring you a fresh, well-researched program to help you identify opportunities for investment, job creation, growing your entrepreneurial skills, wealth creation, and social transformation. Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Every week, we showcase opportunities for creating new products and services. Excellence in innovation, the passion and drive to succeed, and the right mindset to grow your business. Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Brought to you by Operation Wealth Creation. We bring you a fresh, well-researched program to help you identify opportunities.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC Lunchtime News, the weekly roundup edition to be particular. To move on, the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology has underscored the need to increase its budget as a prerequisite for the smooth implementation of the parish development model. While interacting with the ICT committee to discuss the budget performance of the outgoing year and proposed budget for the next financial year, the minister said that the ministry has a limited budget, yet ICT remains key in development, including the success of the parish development model. These are the details.
In February this year, President Yoweri Museveni launched the Parish Development Model, a program meant to eradicate poverty through the execution of development activities at the parishes. The ICT Ministry was charged with the responsibility of spearheading Pillar 5 of the Parish Development Model, which involves setting up the Parish Development Management Information System to, among others, validate information on the beneficiaries, evaluate the livelihood and standards of living of people, and tracking the progress and performance of the different pillars so as to report real-time implementation of the program. While presenting the ICT sectorial budget framework paper for 2022-2023 before the ICT committee, the Minister for ICT, Chris Bariomusi, justified the need for more funding to the ministry to build a strong monitoring and evaluation system to measure the success of the program.
We shall develop a digital dashboard which will be housed in the office of the Prime Minister and office of the President, so that at any one time you can check the progress of implementation. You can know how many youth groups exist in the country, what are they doing, how much money has gone to the youth, how are they utilizing it, just on a dashboard which has been developed, a digital dashboard. So all these require resources, and we have a huge financing gap, and we hope government will put more resources in order for us to develop this management information system covering all the parishes of Uganda and all communities, in order for this parish development model to work and function. So that as you put in resources, you should be able to monitor whether there is progress, and if you detect there is a challenge, you can correct that problem which is occurring.
Dr. Bariomus said the financial boost will also enable them to digitalize the country by ensuring internet connectivity.
And see that there is connectivity and internet in the rural areas, so that schools can use IT services, people can do business in the countryside using internet, using IT, and all these are what we are looking at. So our interaction with the committee was to make an appeal to them as they make reallocations in the Parliament to allocate more resources to the ICT sector.
The committee chaired by Engineer Moses Magogo also appreciated the need to inject more money in the national broadcaster, UBC, to serve its mandate of national development.
And also the President as well, actually is the #1 viewer of UBC. He picks news from UBC and is also concerned. We have had discussions with the President himself. He has actually instructed us to upgrade the UBC to a level where it is picked internationally, like Al Jazeera, CNN, like BBC. So he wants it at that level. And we have computed what it requires. But the challenge, like we have been presenting, that we have not yet secured the money from finance.
All this will be done successfully because the chairman, Honorable Magogo, and the vice have really taken this serious. The committee members, we are optimistic that UBC is going to be prioritized in the funding to come.
The Ministry of ICT and National Guidance was allocated 79 billion 67 million shillings in the financial year 2021-2022, of which the ministry has so far received 52.8 billion shillings. The minister was flanked by the sector's permanent secretary, Dr. Amina Zawede, officials from UBC and other agencies under the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
In other news, Uganda this week kick-started construction works of one of the largest markets in Africa, located at Mutukula, Uganda-Tanzania border. The regional market will be a one-stop center with world-class facilities, including an airport, 5-star hotels, hospitals, shops and silos. The first Deputy Prime Minister commissioned the works on Mutukula Regional Market and welcomed the move, saying that the market will solve the challenge of long movements, clearance and create jobs.
These 500 acres of land at Kasamvu village in Mutukula Town Council along the Sango Bay is where the regional market for the East Africa is going to be constructed. The project by private investor was okayed by government of Uganda and the East African community to facilitate business. The first Deputy Prime Minister Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga welcomed the move by the private investor, saying it will ease the costs of transacting business and create jobs for the Ugandans.
Because the distance for us in the hinterland to reach the Indian Ocean is very, very long from here. So this market is going to be a catchment area. Instead of driving to Dar es Salaam, you can buy the things here. You can come from Congo and buy the things here. You come from Kigali, buy the things here. You come from Burundi, you come from northern Tanzania. They don't have to go to Dar es Salaam. They will buy things here. And also for our people here in this part of Greater Masaka, they no longer have to go to Kampala. Once this market is ready, everything will be here, everything we need will be here.
She urged the investor to work with the locals, especially involve them in supplying construction materials in order to benefit from the project.
So I see employment when the market is finished. I see employment when the market will be constructed. I see the opportunity to supply stones, to supply sand, to supply cement for construction materials. I see an opportunity to supply timber. Also opportunities for the people of this area as they are constructing.
According to the State Minister for Trade, Harriet Ntabazi, the market will be the first of its kind in East Africa.
We had no facilities to do with the storage. We had no facilities to do with silos and warehousing, and even the market itself wasn't there. So the market that is going to be constructed here has a lot. It's going to change with the people of the region and even Uganda itself and Mutukula in particular. So we are going to put a facility of more than $700 million US dollars. $700 million US dollars. And this facility will occupy a lot of things. We shall have a market with 50,000 shops. We shall have stalls constructed. We shall have silos constructed, 21 of them. We shall have an airfield constructed here. We shall have a hospital, a big hospital, big facility, which will be here. We shall work on the roads. We shall have as many things as possible to make sure that the trade across the region moves very well.
Area leaders welcome the development and says it is an opportunity for improving trade and employment for their people.
The moment, if all works out the way it's been presented to us, it presents us an opportunity for having a regional market where buyers can come to one place to be able to get access to whatever they need. Then the other thing is about the customs, another customs stop point. If people don't need to go to Dar es Salaam, that will promote trade.
The multi-trillion project is expected to be completed in a period of 2 years. Philip Aguta, UBC News in Mutukula.
The National Forest Authority, in partnership with Jane Goodall Institute, this week embarked on the restoration of the depleted Kagombe Central Forest Reserve in Kagadi District by planting over 2,000 tree seedlings along River Mozizi and its catchment areas. The Executive Director, National Forest Authority, Tom Obonyi Okello, says that massive encroachment of Kagombe Central Forest Reserve has increased the desert condition in Bunyoro with high temperatures and great reduction in forest cover. These are the details.
Kagadi Resident District Commissioner has asked former encroachers to participate in the restoration of Musizi Wetland and the Kagombe Central Forest Reserve. The Executive Director, National Forest Authority, Tom Obonyi Okello, says massive encroachment of Kagombe Central Forest Reserve has increased desert conditions in Bunyoro.
Today the temperature here was 30 degrees centigrade, which was not heard of in those days when we had good forest cover in Bunyoro sub-region. So I want to call upon everybody, let us embrace the forest conservation, let us embrace the restoration, but let us also strike that balance of making forestry contribute to the livelihoods of the people and to the economic development of our nation.
The Executive Director, Jane Goodall Institute, James Byabakama, says their visit to Kagombe Forest Reserve was meant to sensitize residents on how to live in harmony with the environment.
When people disturb them, they also can organize and get sticks. You disturb them, they go back, they organize, they get sticks, and they come and they hit people on the heads. So they are not about to give up. And by restoring this, with such a community of chimps that fight back, then you are sure that harmony will come. So I want to call upon the people here that learn to live with the chimps peacefully.
The Director, Natural Forests, Rukundo Tom Ndahura, says the major mandate of NFA is to sustain forests, stop encroachment and restore forests by planting more trees. The Range Manager, Bunyoro Forests, Boaz Basingerenda, said Kagombe was degraded for timber, agriculture, charcoal burning and settlement, among others, which has changed the land use from forestry to settlement.
Agriculture comes in, that changes the land use from forestry to agriculture. And if all these forces are not checked, then it goes into settlement and urbanization.
Kagombe Central Forest Reserve measures 17,751 hectares and covers parts of Kagadi, Kibale, Kakumiro, Mubende, Chanjojo with River Musezi. Andrew Musinguzi compiled this report for UBC News.
The Uganda Interreligious Council this week prayed for peace, salvation and humility as key principles to be embraced by communities to emulate the life of Jesus' suffering. This call was made at the joint church service organized by the Uganda Joint Christian Council to celebrate the Way of the Cross at Old Kampala ISS Playground.
For the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic, the ecumenical Way of the Cross has attracted huge gatherings of believers as opposed to the COVID-19 SOPs that exempted congregations. The Kampala Senior Secondary School Playground was the assembly point for an ecumenical Way of the Cross prayer services. This year's joint mass was presided over by the Namungona faith-based Orthodox Church.
Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth.
The call for a peaceful Uganda was key from all religious leaders.
Therefore, in the case of our beloved country, Uganda, all Christians and all the faithfuls must work for peace. Faith in the resurrection of the dead is a cause for peace. Since resurrection is strength, hope, and faith. Work for peace may be difficult, full of dangers, a trying one, but worth every effort. With Jesus Christ, who resurrects from the dead, the peacemakers and their works is a blessing.
We have witnessed cases of human trafficking
people practically selling their fellow human beings as though they were mere goods. We have seen people whose body organs have been harvested and sold without permission. This is the Judas mentality of selfishness and greed.
Interreligious Council also extended a prayer to all the departed souls.
Dr. Kizito Lwanga and the Treasurer, Reverend Father Emmanuel Sechewa. We now pray for them, and we shall have a moment to remember them.
I cannot fail to pay tribute to my predecessor, His Grace Archbishop Dr. Stephen Kizito Lwanga. I thank the organizers that they accorded us time to pray for him and pray for the late John Lwanga, with whom they served the UJCC with the dedication.
They also condemned the continued ungodly acts being witnessed world over.
We ask you to remember our brothers and sisters who are not going to celebrate Easter in tranquility because of wars. Countries like Russia and Ukraine, some West African countries that have had coups and also might not have peaceful Easter. Many people have been internally displaced in their own countries.
The Easter message from the Uganda Interreligious Council was delivered by Right Reverend Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda.
It's a pity that Uganda is still scoring poorly in the global ranking, though there are some efforts that have been made to fight it. We wish to remind you all that corruption is an evil that is condemned by God and in all the scriptures.
The Way of the Cross marks the last moments of suffering for Jesus Christ as he now heads for crucifixion, death, and resurrection on Easter Sunday. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Now taking you out of Uganda, the story of the Way of the Cross is incomplete without revisiting the inception in Jerusalem. The 14 stations of the Way of the Cross reflect the last days of Jesus Christ on earth as a man after he was condemned to death. The UBC team visited these stations to get a feel of the activities in this holy place in Jerusalem.
After Jesus Christ alerted his disciples that he was about to return to his Father, he looked toward heaven and prayed. At this point, one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, was about to earn himself a celebrity status of betraying the Son of God. The Church of All Nations, found on the foot of Mount of Olives, accommodates the foundation where Jesus prayed before his arrest. On visiting this church, I found a group of tourists attending a mass in the church. On the stairs leading to the church is also another group of tourists waiting to enter the church. At this point, they first revisited scriptures to reflect on what transpired in this area. More tourists kept on flocking the area, which, according to reliable information, more than 10,000 travelers poke in on a daily basis to visit the place. In the same enclosure is the Garden of the Oil Press, also known as Gethsemane, where Jesus was with his disciples after prayers before Judas Iscariot showed up with a crowd who had come to arrest Jesus. This preserved Garden of Gethsemane can easily tell its journey from the rags to riches.
Because it's a holy place, here during Holy Thursday they have a mass and they have a way with the candles to the St. Peter Gallicanto. They took all the candles in the night at 5 o'clock in the Holy Thursday here. After the Palm Sunday, it begins the Holy Week. In Holy Thursday, they have a mass here and prayer, and they have all the people that they stay here with candles to St. Peter Gallicanto, because Jesus, after he was betrayed from Judah, from here, they sent him to the house of Caiaphas.
This is the entrance to Pontius Pilate's house, where Jesus was dragged to be tried for claiming to be the king of the Jews. The first and the second stations are found in this place. Both stations have been preserved with the church, where celebrants enter and pray. All the stations are marked in Roman numerals. In the third station, Jesus fell for his first time while with the cross. In this area, the attendants did not allow any recording inside the preserved site. The third and the fourth stations are separated by a wall. In the fourth station, Jesus met his mother, Mary of Magdalene.
We know that Jesus fell down the cross 3 times.
As Jesus carried his cross, he passed through the narrow market, which until to date has remained busy. Here, locals sell the cross and other Christian ingredients. At the fifth station, Simon Crenao was compelled by the Romans to carry the cross of Jesus. At this point, Jesus touched the wall to rest. When believers reach this point, they do touch the exact point on the wall to meditate on the passion of Christ.
And Simon Karawani, that he was with him in the way of the cross, feel that Jesus is very tired, so he took the cross and he helped him.
In the sixth station is where the woman named Veronica came out of the crowd to wipe the face of Jesus, who was sweating.
This station belongs to the Greek Catholic Melkite, that they are from Syria and Lebanon. So they are Greek division from Orthodox. So they pray the Byzantine text, but they have all the feast with the Catholic. So they belong to the Pope.
In the seventh station, Jesus fell for the second time while carrying his cross. This station is also found along the walkway to Golgotha.
So this is the seventh station of the way of the cross. It belongs also for the custody of the Holy Land.
The eighth station was where Jesus met the women of Jerusalem weeping, and he told them to instead cry for themselves and their children. Jesus fell for the third time on the ninth station, which belongs to the Coptic. The preserved site accommodates St. Helen Coptic Church.
This is why they call it St. Helen, because inside this church, this is called St. Helen Church, there is the well of Helen, that the still water in it until now. They use this water to build the Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
In the 10th station, there is no mark as other areas. However, it is the place where Jesus was stripped of his garments, which were distributed among the people who placed him on the cross. This place is found outside the chapel.
Here Jesus get out from his clothes to be prepared to put on the cross on the Golgotha inside.
In the 11th station, found inside the chapel, Jesus was nailed to the cross. Here the attendants have a look-alike face.
You know, I strive to follow Jesus, follow the life of Jesus in complete poverty and simplicity. But I'm all about sharing Jesus. And of course, he's everything. And living here is like amazing because of all places where he died and rose is like the center of the world. You feel a closeness with Jesus, feel a closeness with what life is truly about. And it's like a real closeness with the world, because the whole world, like even Uganda, comes here. We know that we need God. We've been through a very difficult time. We're going through a difficult time. But this is the holy season. Jesus did die right here and rose from the dead to show meaning for the suffering in this life and the hope for the future. It's not going to just end on like a bad way. We're not just going to all die. No, if we believe in him, it's to rise again, have a life beyond what we could expect, better than we can imagine.
In the 12th station, Jesus dies on the cross. The station is preserved under a cave where believers bend and visit to also contemplate on the love of Christ.
All the visitors come here and put their hands where the cross was being inside this bottom down this cave.
The 13th station is in an open area where Jesus' body was taken down off the cross and laid in the arms of his mother Mary. The 14th place is the burial ground. We could only film from outside the constructed tomb, which was crowded by travelers who were proceeding inside the tomb to have a feel of the environment. Daniel Mugoya, reporting from Jerusalem.
Even with my grandson, a doctor at my side, I struggled to get the help I needed. But he saw something that day. He began to work day and night. He wouldn't quit, even when people said no. He wouldn't stop fighting. He knew something had to change, and his vision was bigger than anyone could imagine. He made it possible to receive quality medical services anywhere in Uganda by simply using a phone.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you or call or SMS 162.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
COVID-19 is still here with us. As Owechitiwa Peter Maiga, the Prime Minister of Buganda, states, let us all take the necessary precautions.
Self-medication is always very dangerous. We should leave medical matters to the medical personnel. It's only a healthy population that can produce wealth. And if you want to work for your well-being, you must care about your health first.
Because of the new COVID-19 circulating variants like Omicron, it is very important for all of us to be fully vaccinated with 2 doses of the same vaccine type. It's only those getting Johnson & Johnson who receive only a single dose to be fully protected.
Even after vaccination, continue to adhere to all SOPs by wearing a mask properly, covering your mouth and nose, washing your hands regularly with soap and clean water or using an alcohol-based sanitizer, maintaining physical distance of at least 2 meters from others and avoiding crowds. Echa COVID-19, chija kugwa. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF and partners.
Welcome back. You're still watching the weekly news roundup, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. Now, in the world of business, leaders in Bugisu sub-region under the Bugisu Cooperative Union this week tasked government to reverse the agreement they entered with Vinci Coffee Company Limited, the Italian company that wants to buy Ugandan coffee, or else they are to challenge the agreement in court. During their annual general meeting held in Mbale City, the board members revealed that the government idea to contract a foreign company to run coffee business in Uganda is set to suppress local cooperatives, and this will affect not only the government's revenue but also the local farmers that have been benefiting on coffee business.
Cooperative Union BCU board members have expressed dissatisfaction about the recently signed agreement between Ugandan and Vinci Coffee Company Limited UVCC, an Italian coffee company, to take charge of coffee business in Uganda. They think this move is aimed at eliminating the indigenous cooperatives, which will affect the local farmer.
They are saying we're going to process coffee and give it. So it means, in short, we as a Bugisu Cooperative Union cannot export all coffee there. And we're saying no.
And as a Bugisu Cooperative Union, we cannot allow that kind of thing.
Bubulo East MP Musira says Bugisu has realized a steady progress with government programs, but worried that the monopoly coming up in coffee business will affect efforts achieved.
This kind of thing kills the spirit of farming. Right now, if you go into the field, you will see farmers are putting right their coffee plants, knowing that from only 50 plants, I can get millions of money. If right now the policy of OWC, which gave us seedlings and whatever, has brought Uganda to the top, that we are now #1 in the whole of Africa and #7 in the whole world, surpassing countries in Africa like Ivory Coast and Ethiopia. You see, we are doing very well in the coffee. Certainly, we have gained heavily. Now, if we come up to muzzle what we already gained, that will be extremely very dangerous.
Members insist that the law of liberalization be prioritized if the country is to benefit from coffee business.
Our only challenge is that farm, the Italian farm, being given all the monopoly powers. It should be the only sole processor and the sole exporter. Which was saying that one goes against the laws of liberalization, it goes against the privatization, it goes against, of course, the advantage this cooperative has been enjoying and the Ugandan farms. What we've been seeing and saying build Uganda by Uganda. This time why do you look at the Ugandans out and you bring the foreign farmers to begin building for us and we own them than owning our own mother farms.
Nathan Nandala Mafabi, the Bugisu Cooperative Union board chairperson, however, said the quality of coffee has been compromised by the multinational coffee dealers who even buy coffee on farms.
The multinationals, they're being unfair. They're even buying coffee of the farmers on the farm. That's dangerous. The farmer should be given an opportunity to produce his coffee, clean it up, take it to his society through the union. We, the multinational, once the coffee comes and gets it as a good quality.
Emyoga beneficiaries of Ntoroko and Kabarole districts are set for success a year later after receiving funds to boost their economic activities. They each received seed capital of 560 million Ugandan shillings distributed amongst 16 circles in Kabarole and 18 circles in Ntoroko district. Beneficiaries of the Emyoga program in Ntoroko have spoken out on their experience so far while running their enterprises.
Gavumenti yakatuha seed capital ya milioni 300 tukatunga wetu muno through the Microsoft Center. Hanyuma abakyala bakasoroza shares zin milioni 10.9. Twina savings za milioni 3.89 within 6 months of time.
Twafuna milioni 5 munkaga. Ate group 18 nezifuna kusente milioni 3.
The local council leadership has decried unfavorable weather patterns for challenging the circles practicing livestock farming.
Endwadde zente, foot and mouth disease, kyaletereza okugalawo obutale bw'ente nakyo kyaffectinga performance y'emyoga.
However, plans to mitigate the challenges have been presented by the Microfinance Support Center.
Tukyagenda kwongerera mu ddala emisomo kubanga wotunuulira era wakyalimu abantu abatanaterera bulungi, so tugenda kwongeramu emisomo nga tutuukira ddala ku byalo kubaka tuli ku level ya constituency. Twagala okutuukira ddala ku byalo tulabe nti omuntu oli asembayo enkola eno ey'emyoga ayongera okugitegeera n'ebigikwatako okusobola okulaba nga programu ya president etuukiriza ekigendererwa kyayo.
16 circles in Kabarole district altogether received seed capital of 560 million shillings and have so far saved 60,330,000 shillings. Loans worth 598,119,639 shillings have so far been disbursed, with recoveries worth 189,275,200 shillings. While in Ntoroko, the 18 circles altogether also got seed capital of 560 million shillings and have so far saved 54,713,864 shillings and disbursed loans worth 88,598,700 shillings, with recoveries of 525,313,224 shillings. Wadulo Arnold, UBC News, in Ntoroko. And that's all we had time for the News Roundup Bulletin. Thank you for joining us. My name is Wadulo Arnold. Stay tuned for more news in our subsequent bulletins. Have yourselves a great Easter afternoon.
Pay for your dream phone, Mpola. Get your dream phone today for as low as 1,400 Uganda shillings with free data for a year and pay slowly. All phones come with daily 50 MBs for 12 months. Repayment period is 1 year. Available at MTN service centers and M-Kopa shops.